So crazy.
So a year ago, it was a lot of question marks. Can CJ Stroud, break that quota, that motto of just Ohio State quarterbacks are just bad in the NFL? Can he do that? And then the S2 cognitive test comes out. They flunk that, and he was kind of roasted on that. He turned into.
Sorry. To be honest, the only one saving his stock was like Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee, like nonstop, was like
Pat McAfee. Oh no, Pat McAfee wasn't taking that exam.
No. I'm saying about CJ Stroud being like the guy. He was like the one that harped on that forever during the draft leading up to that. And if anyone saved his butt a little bit, it might have been Pat and his show.
But I think if anybody that watched, especially the college football playoffs that year, you knew Stroud was the guy.
Yeah.
When he lit up Georgia and just came up short because of a field goal.
You had to celebrate the new year. As soon as the ball dropped, that field goal went wide.
Yeah, you knew he was the guy at that very moment. You really did.
And CJ Stroud proved just that. He set a single game rookie passing record, 471 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he held the most signature game-winning drive of last season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, closing them out with under 2 minutes to go, drove down the field, proved that, and brought the Texans to new heights, brought them to their first playoff appearance since 2019, first home playoff game since that same season as well. And, they came up just short against the Baltimore Ravens in a very hostile environment in Baltimore, but the future's looking bright now for this Houston Texans team, who looks to really improve on what they did in 2023 and try to replicate it and then some in 2024.
See, here's the difference of when you actually have a guy. The rest of the teams in the division, you might have a guy. This team has a guy.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of been, every quarterback. Anthony Richards. Yeah, every quarterback that we've talked about in this division, it's like, let's see what they can do. Let's see if they can do it. Here's the guy that can do it.
So looking at the offense here, let's just take the elephant in the room here. They go out and they trade for Stephon Diggs. They rework his deal so he can be a free agent after, the 2024 season if he so chooses, or he can re-sign with the Houston Texans. They trade for Joe Mixon, who fills in that void that they lost with Devin Singletary, who was pretty electric down the stretch. It's unfortunate because I was a really big Dameon Pierce fan. I was really rooting for him and, still wish he can, be a starter in this league. They make a trade for Ben Skoranek, who was not the worst guy in the Los Angeles Rams. He was honestly, pretty electric when he was on the field. Man, I don't even know where else to go. I mean, those are really the only 3 big moves.
Well, and now you have Mechie back from his...
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Mechie. Like, you could go 9 deep on these receivers, and them all. You know all 9 of these guys.
Also, they're like 3 deep at tight end as well.
This is an insanely deep... that's nuts, dude. The fact that you have Robert Woods, Noah Brown, and Mechie, who we've all seen have great games in their career. Well, Mechie not as much, but we know it's possible. I think
he was just as good as some of those other guys there.
Oh, easily. And even Skoranek, that's number 9. No, what is that? 7?
The 3rd slot guy.
Yeah, like that's nuts.
And you have Xavier Hutchinson, who filled in when Nico Collins was hurt, and then Tank Dell had the injury. Yeah. And then Steven Sims, who was, he was decent with Pittsburgh. I mean, realistically, for the receiving core, you're maybe getting 6, possibly 7 on the 53-man roster, and that's a shame. And you're going to lose a guy like Johnny Johnson III, who's one of my favorite names across the entire league, which is just awesome. And also, let's bring up, too, Jake, you mentioned the tight ends there. Cade Stover. You know how he got his hands so good? Do you know how he did?
I forget. Isn't he the farm kid?
He's the farm kid. He massages cows. That's how his hands are so good. I'm just saying. I saw that. I'm like, okay, this man, he's won my heart. Like, that's a great story.
So many other things, like
there you go.
The pregame like features of because he's farm strong.
Yeah, like he's
farm strong.
It's the only positive massage news I've heard out of Houston in a while.
See, I didn't know.
We didn't need to do that. Okay, jeez. Oh my God. But let's turn this back here. They get Blake Fisher with one of their 2 second-round picks. Out of Notre Dame. Cade Stover. I don't need to mention what he does again. And then you get there's not really much else to talk
Even
about.
Tugs?
Whoa!
Uh,
I will say, last year, and CJ Stroud did dig Houston out of this Deshaun Watson
the pit of despair. It was it was the dilly, the pit of misery. Let's bring that back again.
But he did kind of rewrite the Houston Texan narrative, kind of, and that's awesome. And this team looks incredible. Joe Mixon being there is nuts. When Rex Burkhead was like the guy, sometimes the fact that was even a thing is crazy. But
are you talking about in like Houston or like Cincinnati? Because they didn't play together in Cincinnati.
No, Houston. I'm talking about in Houston. Like you went from some games it being like Rex Burkhead, the dude, to
Lamar Miller.
And to Joe Mixon, a legitimate running back, as long as he's good. Whatever stuff happens off the field, whatever, I don't know. It's been a lot at this point, but this is a great team. The receiving core is nuts. Tight ends, quarterback.
See, you know what the best thing about the receiving core that I like? It's not dependent on Diggs, so you don't get his nonsense.
No, there's so much here. Diggs was the guy in Buffalo,
and he got the wide receiver one diva ego because he knew it was him or nobody.
And that's basically, but it was him or nobody, basically.
Yeah.
Because and
he threw a tantrum anytime it wasn't him.
Yeah, and that opened up for Gabe Davis to be Gabe Davis, and I get that, and Isaiah McKenzie, and whatever, But here, Stephon Diggs is like, how do you cover this team, dude? If you have 5 wide receivers and a tight end out there on any set or whatever, like, what do you even do, bro? And even Joe Mixon out of the backfield. Yeah, that's what you do. Joe Mixon out of the backfield, even, like, this is an incredibly good set up team. I don't know how you do this in, like, a year and a half. How you go from what you went to this is just absolutely nuts. So
you might want to take a seat when we go to the defense here, because if you think this receiving core is deep, the defense is even deeper. That's what she said.
All right, well, hey.
So looking at the defense here, I want to highlight from the secondary here. You guys know how many secondary people there are. I know you know these names. You know Derek Stingley. They get Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia in round 2. Desmond King, who was bouncing around with the Chargers, the Titans, he finds his home there. Jeff Okudah, who was traded to Atlanta last year. CJ Henderson's there. Mike Ford, you're going to know. You're going to know MJ Stewart. Even the safeties, Eric Murray, Jimmy Ward, Jalen Petrie. You know a lot of these people on the secondary. And that's not even going into like the front 7 where, there's, let's just talk about the additions here.
Hunter. Oh my God.
So they brought in Danico Autry from the Titans. I think he might be dealing with a suspension. I don't know, like 6 games for performance enhancement drugs.
I forget. Yeah, PEDs. I think it's 6 games.
That's crazy.
You bring in Derek Barnett, who was with the Eagles for a while, but he was their waiver acquisition, I believe, last year. Daniil Hunter, Foley Fakusar, who's going to be containing the inside of that line. Azeez Al-Shire from the Titans again, and you have Tommy Towson, who was a long time Chiefs punter too. I know we don't really talk about the special teams, but special teams, special plays, special players. What's up, Sketch? Yeah.
There you go.
Talk about the Titans there. How fitting is that?
Nice.
But, they did lose Jonathan Grenard, Jerry Hughes. But Jerry Hughes is on there, so I guess he's resigned or something. I have no idea. Malik Collins, Sheldon Rankins, Blake Cashman, Denzel Perryman, Steven Nelson. Like, they did make some losses, but, like, the gains are so much more significant than the losses. Like, it's a better gain for them.
There you go. Massive gains. There you go. That's it.
Mozzarella sticks and all that stuff. That's how you get the gains to the world.
This is a great team, bro. I don't even it's so cool that so much of their youth has kind of panned out and is still on the team. They haven't given up on guys like John Mechie or Damian Pierce, even though they haven't been nuts. And then there's guys on this defense like Stingley and Petrie and stuff. And it's just
You know
a
what? If
phenomenal
this team can stop the run,
forget about it.
forget about it. This team's running away with with the AFC.
Easily. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is your dude that you really, that's your biggest threat.
You do realize how nuts that statement is, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Running with the AFC, like that's
Oh,
Burrow,
AFC.
Lamar, Mahomes. Like, if this team can stop the run, it's over.
It's crazy to say that we're saying, or crazy to see that we're saying stuff like that from a quarterback that's been in the league for one singular year so far. And you got to think it only goes up from there, which is kind of nuts.
Because the biggest jump's always year one and year two.
Yeah. And I mean, God, if he doesn't jump at all, it's still fantastic. Like, I don't, this is, I mean, he genuinely was the best rookie quarterback we've seen as far as numbers go easily. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is just a really good team, period. That's it.
I don't even care what we run through the schedule with, to be honest.
Yeah, you got to think this is a 13. Well, let's look.
So the schedule here, yes, it's the worst schedule of all time with color coding. So, and also, I gotta just say this too. I do not like those uniforms. There was nothing wrong with the old uniforms, especially those H-Town ones. I'm not a fan of them.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I
think that's the most negative thing I have about this team is just the uniform changes. But other than that, like, I mean, you open up at home against Caleb, you go on the road to Minnesota, and then you're at home for both the Jaguars, the Bills.
I think
then you're
easily start 6-0. Packers
6-0, like Kansas City. Oh, I'm looking.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Okay, that's the toughest part. Can we just talk about that real quick? That is easily the toughest part when we do these previews.
I always look the wrong direction first
every time? Is because half of the schedule
it's all different,
up and down, and half go left to right, and it's so. Yeah, no, I know, I get that. I will say there are only 3 games on this schedule that I could say that is oh, they'll probably lose, maybe.
Well, see, here's the thing: is that's what happens when you have a quarterback.
Yeah, Kansas City, Baltimore, and the Jets. If the Jets are still the Jets, and the Jets are rolling, and sauce and everything like that, then
I still have to put the Lions up there.
I mean, they have 2-3 rough 3-week stretches: Jets, Lions, Cowboys.
Oh yeah, true.
Dolphins, Chiefs, Ravens.
And the Chiefs and the Ravens are, it's a Saturday game for the Chiefs, and then they have to turn around, play 4 days later on Christmas. So that's rough for them.
They might not have to even play that game, to be honest. Like,
at least Baltimore, they might not have to. Well,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
but see, that could be like a first place match thing.
But
they could be competing for first place with Kansas City, and then immediately be competing for first place with like that bye week, first bye with Baltimore back to back, which would kind of suck for them.
Yeah, but I mean,
that part does suck.
The Ravens, regardless of their schedule, don't have a schedule chocked full of easy wins just because of the division.
Also true. Yeah.
The Jets do.
Yeah.
The Chiefs do.
Yeah.
And
the Chiefs may not just because it's the Chiefs.
No, the Chiefs do because Denver's done.
Yeah.
Raiders are done. Chargers are rebuilding.
Yeah. But I'm saying the Chiefs do have like a first place schedule, so who knows?
Yeah. But that's what? How many? 6 free wins, basically?
Yeah. So that is tough, like Will said. You do have, or did you whoever said Jets, Lions, Dallas, that could be a little bit difficult. And then to end at the end of the season, that is kind of rough. But you could already have 12 wins by that point.
You could also
have 13 wins. I mean,
week 15, Dolphins could have already imploded
easily. But that's a home game. That's good. So yeah, this is, man, they could still, I'm gonna count it.
They have really one rough game, 2 rough games on the schedule. That's about it. Like, going on the road to Arrowhead late in the year is going to suck. I mean, they have all their other big teams at home. What might be of the Bills, what might be at that point of the season the Dolphins, the Ravens, and the Lions. They're all at home. So I don't know. I think this team sleepwalks to double digits, and it's just about where do they get seated.
There's the who put that schedule together, Will, or that record thing together, remember?
What record thing?
Oh my gosh, what?
Oh, that was USA Today or Washington Post, something like that. The record predictor.
Yeah, you don't go by USA Today. That's not what you were supposed
Have
to go
you
by.
seen this division?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that?
That's bad. That's real bad.
Oh, I don't know.
Here, I might get it on mine. I might get it on mine.
Bro, that's like awful.
It's gonna turn the brightness down.
Yeah, let's turn down the sun there. Oh, yeah, I want to see what.
That's awful.
That's insane.
That's real awful.
That's insane. What? Okay, I mean, I just wanted to look just to see. I was like, yeah, no, they obviously
It also has the Jets at 13-3 or
12-5. 12-5. Still, though.
Also, can we say how I'm still super programmed to the old number of games when doing a schedule?
Oh, it's difficult to
Wait
change.
till you finish. Wait till you get used to 17, and then they're gonna go poof 18.
Yeah, I'll finally get used to it, and then
You're screwed.
just like the Commanders, I finally started calling the football team.
How do you not even have the Texans making the playoffs? That's so crazy.
Well, that's what USA Today is.
I know. No, it's I don't know. That's nuts, though, that they did that.
But let me mention the question here. What will make this season successful for the Houston Texans?
Super Bowl.
At least to get there. It's kind of the same. It's really the same standard we have for the Lions, where it's like your team has never been good enough to be good, period. And your fans deserve something better than what they've ever had. So if you make it to the Super Bowl, you've already done great for yourself.
This is also the year that every team makes that jump. Like with the young quarterbacks, they always do it in their second year. Like,
yeah, no, 100%.
Burrow, and like the ones that get there, and then like it's always that thing. If they win, they win again. If they don't go back. It's usually this year when it comes to them.
Imagine Texans, Lions, everything we said on this show would be phenomenal. That'd be it.
Well,
we could retire early.
You can take the Lions for that. I'll still.
Yeah, but that's fair. But yeah, no, I don't have hope. So, yeah, I think that's really it, man. If they make the Super Bowl, they've done their fans and their organization a service, and everyone will be proud of them. And I don't think, I mean, yeah, they won Super Bowl. Come on, but I don't think if they lost, anyone will be disappointed about it. They'll be like, you know.
Well, I mean, the way things are now, you have to do it while they're on a rookie deal.
Yeah, no. 100%.
Unless your GM's a wizard and can somehow get a.
Imagine this contract. I think CJ Stroud in the next 5 years is the highest paid player in the league.
I think by the time he gets there, they do that whole thing they talk about quarterbacks being their own thing.
Maybe.